Hey y'all, I am Makita. Some people call me Kita, some people call me Mickey. Whatever you like, I love. I just wanted to make this video right quick, just talking about how and why I moved to Florida and kind of encourage anybody who was thinking about moving or who wants to move but you are unsure. So this idea kind of came to me about 5 years ago, which at the time I don't believe that I was in the best position to move. And so I kind of sat on the idea for a while, and then my aunt, who I was living with at the time, we kept on experiencing like death consistently. Like two of her sisters passed away, a nephew of hers, and it was consistent. Not to mention people who weren't family passing away, and I kept on hearing in my spirit, "Get away from death, get away from death." It was ringing so loudly that I thought that I was going to be the one to die, and not a physical death, more so a spiritual death, which made me nervous because after you put in so much work spiritually, the last thing you want to do is feel like you are going to lose it all. So I instantly, February 17, 2021, actually, my aunt, she called me. I mean, she woke me up out of my sleep crying um, because her oldest dog that she had passed away. The first thing that rung in my spirit was, death is this close. Like, death is this close to you. It's time to go. And so I instantly like just came up with this idea to I had to leave immediately. Like I said, when you work so hard for something, the last thing you want to feel like is you're about to lose it all. So I had to leave immediately. Um, I ended up at the end of March. I ended up going to Toledo, Ohio, which I was living in Columbus, Ohio at the time. It's like a 2-hour difference to go get my little brother, and we came up with a plan in a week. We rented out an Airbnb, rented a car from Turo, and we bought plane tickets. And by April 5th, we were on the plane. April 5th, 2021, we had flew down, and the car was waiting for us at the airport. The Airbnb, everything was easy. It was like a red carpet was laid out or something. Everything was kind of easy for me. And the only time I ever felt like I wanted to go back home was the first night. After we drove around for a while, and it got dark, everything was very foreign and it looked lost. We ended up getting an Airbnb on a resort, which I didn't know at first. And so it was like in this resorted area, which seemed like the middle of nowhere at first. But when the morning came, I was okay again. The first and only time I ever felt like going back home, might I add. Um, but yeah, so after we get here, we get to the Airbnb. I ended up finding a job like 10 days after we had moved here. And the day before I had the interview, we actually had to take the car back to the guy we had rented it from on Turo. And I asked him if I could like re-rent the car for a few more days just so I can go to this interview. And he told me no, but that he had a car for me. And so I ended up just cash apping before I had even seen the car. And we went to go switch the cars out, and everything was okay. Um, until the next day, when the sun is out, it's like every roach that lived in a certain part of Florida was just in this one car, and it was like literally roaches everywhere to the point to where we could hardly even drive. And so my brother decided he was gonna pull up to the car lot and lease a car, and that's how we kind of got out of the renting the car situation. And then as far as the place goes, so like in October, um, the Airbnb started to become overwhelming because I was the only one at the time with a job, and paying for everything can definitely be overwhelming, especially when you're in Florida and everything is inflated right now. So we ended up moving in with a friend who offered to let us stay with him for a few months. Shout out to Jimmy. He was and is still a very nice guy. And we stayed with Jimmy until like the end of January. I applied for a place about January 25th, I want to say. And they approved me by January 28th. I ended up moving in February 4th. And so that's just how I survived and have been living in Florida Like I said, the job that I ended up getting, they paid me daily, so that's how I was able to kind of maintain and, you know, pay anything that needed to be paid, because it wasn't a day that if I didn't go to work, you know, that I didn't have money. So I just wanted to make this a quick video to kind of encourage people to kind of, like, you know, use your faith. Step outside of the boat, do something different. I didn't really know what to expect when I was hopping off of the plane. But once you kind of put yourself in a position to kind of work and to kind of build, like, you will find that once your back is up against the wall, you will do what it takes, especially if you are willing to maintain something that you dreamed about. You know, here it is, June now. I moved here April of last year, and everything has been good so far. Everything has been kind of awesome. Of course, you will learn a lot about yourself, about the city. I think a few of the things that I learned about Florida was that I didn't know that hurricane season was in the summertime. I found that out when I got here. I didn't know that the freeways was as packed as I didn't even know that Florida was as jam packed as it is. Okay, the I-4 sucks, and I have to take that thing every day to work, and every day there's an accident. Besides that, it's just been a journey. You know, I didn't have everything figured out. I didn't have everything planned. So everything that I have been doing and everything that how this has been working for me is I have been learning as I go. Which, if you allow yourself to make mistakes, if you allow yourself to get it wrong sometimes, you will learn that not only is that okay, but when you make mistakes and when you get it wrong, you just prepare yourself to get it right and to make less mistakes. So, like I said, everything has been cool. You know, I have a place, I have a form of transportation. When I first moved here, I would say about the first 3 months, we had family that was helping us out and sending money and stuff like that. But after that, it was, you know, you on your own type of thing, which it ain't never nothing wrong with that. But if you do have a support system and a base, you know, of course that will definitely make things a lot easier for you in the long run. But I just wanted to encourage somebody, like, just don't be afraid. Like, of course it's not going to be like home. Of course you're not going to know your way around this new place. Of course it's not going to be, you know, what you're used to. You will have to kind of step outside of yourself. And as long as you are willing to do that, I believe that you can move anywhere and create a beautiful life for yourself. So I just wanted to make this video right quick, just to, again, encourage anybody who wanted to get out and move. And I hope that if y'all have any questions, that y'all feel free to ask. I will be as honest as possible. Honestly, I'm just now getting in a position. We moved here in April, so it's June now. So I would say about a year and 4 months. I'm just now really getting into a good financial position, and that's just the honest God truth. I'm learning how to manage my money a lot more, and save money a lot better. But yeah, after a year of being here, because, you know, when I first came, you know, this Florida, of course, I wanted to sightsee. I wanted to go out to eat all the time and kind of just learn where I am. And I had a ball my first year here. I'm gonna just be 100% honest with y'all. It has been nothing but complete fun. But now I'm more into a kind of like grind time type of thing. But I'm focused. I believe that anybody can do anything if you really want to. Put your heart, put your mind to it. You can move, and just don't be scared. And, you know, if you want to go, just go, and just trust yourself as you're making progress, and trust yourself as you're on a journey, and enjoy the journey. Thank y'all for coming to